So for Warrior, we've got the Destroyer set. This is a nice set. This is a pretty unique set. Really, really nice shoulder pads. So wide. I mean, look at it on an Orc. They just span out. So epic. And the fact you've got these huge blades, which could be just there on their own, but you've got these like craters or braziers and top as well, really set it off. The only downside about this set is the helm. It's a little bit weird in the design. You've got these huge horns. The face plate doesn't quite work, but even on like a dwarf does set it off. It creates a nice overall shape for the character. Tauren, you've got these huge horns. You've got like 6 horns on your face. Bloody hell. It works for the class. I'll give it that, and it is quite unique. It just works for the warrior. Even on small shoulders, like the undead. I think it looks pretty good on undead, actually. I like undead warriors. So we're going to give this A tier, I reckon. It's not quite S, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Alright, next we've got Mage tier 5. The Robes of Tirisfal. Now this is one of the most underrated sets, I reckon, in TBC in total. It suits the thematic so well, and it goes with the theme of Tirisfal. So you got these robed mages. Undead male, again you got this hood, so it doesn't quite work as well on an undead male. But gnomes, it works very well. You got this really nice huge hood. The back could be a little bit improved maybe, but it also works very well with the beards, something like that. I guess I might be a little bit biased, but I like it on humans as well. Just fits really well. The shoulders aren't overly big, and they're not small either. They got really nice like these gems around here. A little bit of glow. The robe is really uniquely designed. Really nice colours, deep crimson red. Just a really nice set that fits the class and the theme of the tier set in terms of Tirisfal. So, being a little bit biased, but I really like the set. I'm going to give it A tier. It's not quite S tier, I think. Although, playing the class, I would put it in S tier. But in comparison, looking at all the other sets, I'd put it maybe A. Alright, next off, let's have a look at Priest tier 5. The Avatar set. This is a really unique set, actually. You've got this huge hood, one of the biggest hoods I've ever seen. Gives you little glowing eyes as well. And you've also got a little halo on the top. The robe is really nice by itself. Goes very well with the gloves. And of course, the unique shoulders. Nothing like this in the whole of the rest of the game. On Dwarf, not sure it quite works, just because of their posture. A little bit stout. But of course on Human, looks pretty cool on Human. A lot of them will be female. A little bit of clipping there. Again, the back of the hood could be improved a little bit. It looks a little bit baggy, especially down here. But it's a really like comprehensive set overall, and it works perfectly for a Holy Priest or Disciplined Priest. It doesn't quite work for a Shadow Priest. Of course, your Shadow form's going to give you that purple glow, but unique in itself, and it only works for the class, not really for the expansion. It doesn't really fit in TBC particularly. There's nothing unique about it in that regard. But in terms of the class, could we go A tier? It's very nicely designed. I think we're going to go A tier, yeah. Okay, next up, let's have a look at the Shaman set, Cataclysm. This has got to be built on an Orc, surely. These shoulder pads are really unique, and I think it just works for the class overall. The helm is a little bit stumpy in terms of its shape. It's kind of got like a cowl at the back, but it changes your face colour. You know, you got that red glow inside, which looks pretty cool. Matches the shoulders perfectly. You got these hanging chains. You got chains on the back as well. Yeah, there you can see the cowl at the back. I'd like to have seen the shoulders a little bit bigger on Tauren, actually. They look quite small on the Tauren, but the gloves look pretty cool as well. Like it's cracking with the lava in between. Of course, on a Draenei as well. It's one of the sets that definitely stands out in game. You know, it catches your eye in terms of the glowing effect. I think the shoulders could have been a little bit bigger though. I think it looks best on an Orc male. So it's unique. It kind of fits the expansion in terms of Cataclysm, like destruction of world. So we're going to put this in the A tier as well, I reckon. Next up we've got Paladin, the Crystal Forge set. It's a pink Power Ranger. What more can you say? Fits the expansion. Does it fit the class though? You got this kind of like Templar kind of vibe going on. Really unique shoulders. The rest of the set, the overall colour scheme, it's based on the helm and the shoulders, of course, with these 3 shiny gems at the top, the head and 2 shoulder pads. The rest of the set works around it quite nicely. The leg plates even look like they're kind of like these crystallized rocks. Those are the chest piece. I think with the helm, it's definitely a tank set. And with a shield and a mace, it could easily be a healer. It's unique. It's going in A tier. Druid is the Nordrassil set. Looks pretty good on a human actually. But looking at Night Elf, I really like the shoulder pads. They're really detailed. And they've even got a unique effect in terms of growing flowers on them, which is really cool. It suits the Druid theme perfectly. Looks really good on a Night Elf male. Look at the size of those shoulder pads. It's got this unique purple glow. You wouldn't necessarily think of purple going with Druid, but it actually works with this set. The whole set is focused on the shoulders. The helm piece is there just to complement it in terms of colours and spiky things on the top, a little bit of spiky. And then the robe is nice. You can actually wear the robe individually. It would go quite well with the class. Let's have a quick look on Tauren. It works on Tauren as well. You just got this crown piece, which you don't have to show, but it's mainly based on the shoulders. You got this like wooden effect, so I really like this. You got this warping of wood on the edges. Really unique set. It's definitely A tier. Is it S tier? It could be S tier. You got these hanging moon wooden pieces as well, which goes with the Elune theme for druids. Works well on female Tauren as well. It's going S tier actually. I was thinking it was A tier, but in terms of the detail, like on these shoulder pads, they just work so well. Really nice set. I wasn't expecting to put it in S tier actually, but looking at it individually now, I reckon it is. You can see the amount of detail in the A tier sets is slightly lower. So yeah, I think it deserved S tier. Okay, now we got Hunter, Riff, Stalker, tier 5. Now this is a controversial looking set. You got the thematic of stalking rifts, which I'm not sure what they were going for. They were kind of going, maybe the Hunter being an outland, stalks creatures across the rifts. You got Draenei Hunter here, kind of a rarity. I think it's the helm, specifically the front of the helm, and the front of the body piece is a bit of a mishmash between mail and this kind of blue plate. And you got the bones as well, and you got the kind of leather joining straps. It's just a mishmash. It's too noisy at the front. I think it looks best on an orc just because of the size of the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads are the standout feature of this set, definitely. And on their own, they've got the, not sure if it's showing here, but in game you've got the crackling lightning effect, so it's really unique in that regard. These bones at the back of the head are quite unique. It's definitely one of the better designed cowls in terms of detail at the back of the head. But the front, you got this like weird skull thing, which is a little bit flat. They could maybe have added something on the front here, possibly. Yeah, but the rest of it is really noisy. I do like these leather straps here, like strapping the bones onto the normal shoulder pads. I'm not quite sure it's A tier, just because of the slight weirdness of the set. Is it B tier? I think B tier maybe. Most hunters will be hiding this helm, so yeah, it's going into B tier. And lastly, we've got the Rogue tier 5 set, Death Mantle, which is another underrated set, I reckon. You got the classic hood. Now, this is a really unique hood. Like the shape is quite nice, fits the head quite well. Of course, the front is that classic skull face. It's nice, got a nice shape. Shoulder pads are, again, underrated. Fits the rogue theme really well. The rest of the set is a little bit plain in design. These slight rings underneath the shoulder pads. Yeah, the rest of the set could just be like a normal leather set, so it's really, we're just rating it on the helm and shoulder pads. The rest of the colour scheme, I mean, it matches. On a gnome, you've got the standout helm. On an orc, the shoulder pads, of course, stand out. And undead, where you're going to see this most of the time. Again, it's got a kind of a weird hood, but from straight on, it looks pretty epic. Really, it's the classic edgelord set. Are we going to give it A tier? Is it in the realm? It's unique, and it suits the class. Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as B. It's a nice A tier set. And last but not least, we've got the Warlock Corrupter set. It's S tier. No questions. Look at it. Put Tempest of Chaos in your hand. I mean, what more can you ask for? You've got a weapon that goes specifically with your tier set. Completely unique shoulders. Go with this skull-themed, almost like gothic with the chains on the helm. Really nice shaped hood that matches and flows into the rest of the robe really nicely. You got these moving shoulder pads, which I haven't even noticed them moving actually in detail when you look up close. The skulls are unique. It's a dynamic shoulder piece. It's not the same on both sides. It's not copy pasted. And just the fact that you've got a weapon that goes with your set It's definitely S tier. Speaking of that, actually, if we go to the Druid set, oh man, that actually looks really good on the Night Elf. Let's have a quick look on Orc. Oh, the hood is a bit of a letdown on the chin section, but just straightforward looking at it. Always got Undead. Blood Elf male looks pretty cool as well. Just the posture. Look at that. The back of the weapon even matches the shoulder pads. It's crazy. Yeah, speaking of that, if we go back to the Druid set, Nordrasil, there is a weapon, a staff. Here it is, the Pillar of Ferocity. Another weapon that matches the tier set. Specifically designed. Goes so well. Oh, look at that. Does make you want to play Druid a little bit. So good. With the green hair as well. You've got to have a Night Elf Druid with green hair. Massive on a Tauren. Sweet. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy I put that in S tier now. Trying to think of any other weapons that match the other tier sets in case we've got them. I mean, you've got the maybe the Hammer of Atonement for the Paladin tier 5. Oh yeah, and of course the Hammer of the Naru for a Ret spec. I know this is from tier 6 content, but it does work backwards. Same as the Warlock, you got the weapon from tier 6 and then the tier set from tier 5. Ooh. Does look good. I don't think the tier set itself is worth an S tier though, so we'll keep it an A for now. Just thinking we've also got a weapon tier set combo for the Shaman Enhancement Shaman, I believe. If we go Cataclysm set, and weapon is a fist weapon. 2 fist weapons. You got Claws of Molten Fury. So that is one of those to die for weapon set combos. Look at that. That's pretty epic. We put Cataclysm in A tier, yeah. So I reckon it's still an A tier. Oh man, those spikes on the sides though. Alright, then moving on to tier 6.